like a star every time I ride, and every time I rise to an early dawn, my head's filled with music, I'm just singing along, and there's a kid on the corner who's been singing my song.
Hey, this is Liam from Devlin's Audio Workshop. Today a friend of mine was asking me questions about mastering, and I had him send me over a hip-hop track that he had been working on. So I thought I would make a video just going over what I'd done to master this track. Now, I had him send me two stems. One is a stereo mixdown of the vocals, and the other is a stereo mixdown of the beat. Now, I've just got these loaded up in Logic Pro here. And the first thing I noticed was that the beat had a little bit of crackle. There was a sample of probably a turntable or something, and it was cracking a little bit more than I liked. So I used the Waves X Crackle plugin to get rid of that crackle a little bit, because the mastering compression was really bringing it out, and it almost sounded like it was clipping. So I figured that wasn't going to sound very good, so I used this plugin. And next I just used the channel EQ plugin to bring down the volume, because it was pretty hot, and it was hitting the other plugins pretty hard. So I just used the Logic channel EQ to do that because it was quick. Next I have the Slate VCC plugin, and it's set on the SSL setting here, and we have the drive set quite high. Then I used the Wave C4, and that was just to compress the low end. The low end was a little sloppy, and it just sounded, just a little sloppy and crappy. So I used the Wave C4, and what I did there was I just compressed with a little bit of a late attack, like around 20 milliseconds, and a quick release. And what that did is it just made the low end a lot more punchy, and it got rid of some of the mud in the low end there. Next, I used the VEQ, and what I did with this is I just did a little bit of a high shelf starting at 6.8 kilohertz, a low shelf at 56 hertz, and then I did a high pass filter at 47 hertz. And on the vocal track here, I had the EQ, which is just bringing it down again by 6 decibels, because the track was a little bit hot for my liking. It was hitting the plugins a little bit hard. And next I had Slate Digital VCC, and that's on the Neve setting, and I had the drive cranked just to get a little bit of saturation there. Oops. And the vocals were actually processed really well. So all I felt the need to do is I just used max bass, because it was a little thin. So the max bass just, filled it out a little bit and made the vocal sound a little more full. Now I have both the beat and the vocal tracks output set to bus 1. And then I set up 2 auxiliary channel strips here, and both of them have their input set as bus 1. On the first one, I have Slate Digital VCC, and that's on the Neve console emulation, and there's no drive there. Next, I am using the Logic Linear Phase EQ to do a high pass filter, and that's set at 88 hertz, and then the slope is at 12 decibels per octave. And what I'm doing here is I'm just cutting out the low end, and then I'm going to add it in later after I do some compression. Next, I have the Waves API 2500 compressor. This is great for adding punch. So what I've done here is I have the knee set to soft, the detector set to loud, and the type to the new fast forward look ahead one. And I'm just taking about 2 to 3 decibels of gain reduction here. And we have the attack set to 10 milliseconds. And the ratio set to 4:1, and we have a fairly quick release here at half millisecond, or half a second, sorry. Okay, and next we have the Waves R Bass plugin, and this is great for enhancing the low end. And what I've done here is I've set the frequency at 51 hertz, and I'm bringing the low end that I cut. So what I've basically done is multi-band compression. I've compressed the high end, and then I've added in the lows after, and they are down lower, uncompressed, and now they're brought back up. So they're nice and punchy still. And on the other auxiliary channel strip, I have Slate Digital again, and it's set to the USAA, which is the API emulation. And then I have a linear phase EQ, and that's doing a high pass. It's set higher than the other one. It's at 255 hertz, not quite as steep of a slope, 12 decibels per octave. And then what that's doing basically is getting rid of the low end. This track is for reverb, so by removing the low end, there's just going to be less muddiness. I find if you have the subs in the reverb, it just makes it really muddy. So what I've done here is I'm just cutting out the subs, so the reverb will only be applied to the higher bands. Now I have the Space Designer impulse response loader here. And I have a Bricasti Studio A room impulse set up. And I have a little bit of dry signal, but it's mostly the reverberated signal on this track. And after that, I have the Waves S1 Imager, and that's just widening the reverb track a little bit to make it sound a little more hi-fi and just to add a little bit more wideness and dynamics to the mix. Now on my master output fader, I have the Slate Digital Virtual Mix Bus VCC console emulation plugin, and it's set on the Neve emulation, and the drive is just at 0. And then I have the Waves Ozone 5 exciter set to the tape setting, and I'm not doing any excitation to the sub-lows, just to the low mids, high mids, and the highs. I'm doing just, I guess, 0.2 is the amount that I have in there. And next I have my loudness maximization, and I'm just using 2 plugins for that. I'm staggering it. The first one is this one right here. And the character is set to smooth, so that's a little bit later attack on that. And I'm getting most of my gain reduction with that. And I have the transient recovery turned on a little bit, and the stereo link. And last, I have the Ozone Maximizer again, and this is set all on clip, so the fastest attack setting that they have. And I'm getting almost as much gain reduction with this one as I did with the previous one, but not quite as much. And it's also important to add that I'm using the IRC3 setting for both of these Ozone plugins. Finally, I have the Logic multimeter, and this thing is great. It's actually my favorite meter of all the ones I've tried. It has a handy little RMS meter right here, and then it also has a frequency analyzer that shows the RMS and the peak level and all your different, all of the different frequency bands, which is pretty neat. Okay, now I'm just going to let the song play, and I'll toggle some plugins on and off, and then you can get a feel for what they sound like and what they're doing to the mix.
Singing along, and there's a kid on the corner who's been singing my songs. I got reason why you're bobbing your head up and down. When you listen to my songs, put your head up in clouds. Tell me, motherfucker, what you dreaming about? Is it cars, is it money, is it people and clout? You can't get none of that shit sleeping on the couch with the weed up in your mouth. Straight them shoulders up, boy, ain't no need to fucking slouch. All the underdogs trying to be the bosses now, all the champs in the game. Yeah, I'm trying to take them out. If I can do it in mind, then I can do it in time. I just gotta know what it takes to finally realize my dreams to reality, my thoughts are real life. But I don't kid myself, I know it'll be a fight. Me and the mic, 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 me and the mic. That's all I need in my life. That's all I need in the mic, me and 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 the mic. That's all I need in my life. That's all I need in my life. You know, some people out there chasing girls, and that's all cool, man. I have a girl too, but you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you gotta think about what you living for, man. What's your purpose? You know what I'm saying? I'm saying just give me a motherfucking mic. That's motherfucking right. Yeah. Me and the mic, me and the mic, me and the mic, me and the mic, me and the mic. Gotta slow down, man. I'm due for a pop. Me and the mic, me and the mic, need in my life. Me and the mic, that's all I need in my life. Me and the mic, that's all I need in my life.
Well, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something or found this video useful somehow. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
That's all I need in my life. Me and the mic, that's all I need in my life. Choosing my fate. Me and the mic, that's all I need in my life. Me and the mic, just me and the mic. Me and the mic, that's all I need in my life. Gotta slow down, man. Just me and the mic. Me and the mic, that's all I need in my life. Me and the mic, just me and the mic. Me and the mic, just me and the mic. Just me and the mic, just me and the mic. That's all I need. Choosing my fate. That's all I want. Choosing my fate. That's all I need. Choosing my fate. That's all I want. Gotta slow down. Gotta do for a positive. Me and the mic. Me and the